All right, what is up, traders? What's up, tycoons? Super excited for today's video. Carvana looks absolutely amazing, setting up a nice bullish five-wave structure here to the upside. Whatever you want to call it, whether it's this inverse head and shoulders we have right here, whether you want to call this a cup and handle, this thing looks like it still has plenty of gas in the tank and could be on the verge of another breakout to the upside, especially when you look at the MACD and the RSI on the weekly time frame. And we'll zoom in a little bit more to the daily time frame so you guys can get an idea of some of the key levels to pay attention to on a shorter term basis. Now, as always, the content provided on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. So please be sure to read through the disclaimer. And if you're new to the channel, I started a completely free newsletter for you guys called Investment Intelligence, giving out free valuable finance content and free trade ideas. You can sign up for that using the link in the description. All right, and this is what the trade ideas will look like, okay? Highlighting the chart conditions, showing you guys the chart setup itself, and, going over everything, in detail. And if you were to just take a look at the past three newsletters, okay, there is a website associated with it as well, so you can go back and review. All right, the most recent one was Teladoc, okay, went up over 14.5% since the time of the newsletter. The one before that was PayPal, went up over 10%. And then Rivian was from 3 weeks ago and went up over 40% from the time of the newsletter being published. So if you're fans of free valuable content and free trade ideas, you're really going to enjoy that newsletter. I try to focus on quality over quantity. So that's why you get about 1 to 2 a week. I'm not spamming your inbox every single day with 5 to 10 different trade ideas, trying to brag about one or two going off. Rather, I'm spending a lot of time looking for high quality setups and then trying to provide those high quality setups to my readers of the newsletter. If you want to, you can also just join the Investment Intelligence Discord itself. And so in there, that's where you get access to all of the different trade ideas. Okay. So not just the one or two that you get from the newsletter, but rather every other single chart that I'm looking at. So, we talked about PayPal, we talked about Teladoc. Toast was a big sleeper play that we went over in the Discord. Carnival Cruise Lines, SoFi. You guys can see the amazing returns that people are getting in the Discord, trading these different analysis and trade ideas. And on top of that, you get access to all of my custom scripts and indicators, as well as over 35 of my chart layouts, all of the different scans that I use. All of that comes included, and the Discord is only about $10 a month, so that's less than a cup of coffee a week. Very affordable. I know some people have different size accounts, and a lot of people are starting off with $100 or $1,000. So I'm not looking to try to charge you guys a fortune, but rather just provide a really good place to find some high quality setups. Now let's get into Carvana. The weekly time frame looks amazing. All right. We charted this wave 4 here, and I'll be honest, I missed buying this wave 4 bottom right here. Okay. If I would have bought this wave 4 bottom, man, it would be very, very juicy. Okay. But overall, I was really just looking at the setup here, and markets tend to move in 3-wave or 5-wave structures. Okay. And so a 5-wave structure is going to be your bullish or bearish structure, right? And in this case, we're looking for a bullish 5-wave structure. A 3-wave structure, okay, is going to be typically an ABC correction, right? So in the case of an uptrend, it would be, an ABC move to the downside, right? So you see we have a high here, right? A down, and then we make a lower high right here, and then a C down, right? So ABC, okay? And now we're looking to complete wave 5, and the wave 5 targets is going to be up in the $74 range. Now, it's possible we can extend higher than that. Okay, there's a huge fair value gap, which I won't spend too much time explaining what a fair value gap is, but I mean, if you basically go through this area right here, all of this is a fair value gap right now. Okay. And basically what that means is that there's weak candle structure over here, and you can see that it just simply passes right through. And so if it's possible, this can even extend up to the $100 price target area. So this is a big reason why this one has been on my watch list. Okay. And on a weekly time frame, from a technical standpoint, the very textbook trade would be a break, retest of this trend line here, and then look for the continuation to the upside. All right. So that's what I'm really going to be looking for as an optimal setup. Now, in the short term, it may provide an entry to go long, right? And if this thing stays bullish, you can make money in the meantime. Okay, but when we're just talking about really high probability setups, typically you don't want to be buying necessarily right at a resistance trend line. Typically you would look for a breakout retest as confirmation of the move. Okay. But what I really like right now and what we're going to be looking for is the MACD to give a bullish crossover signal. So you can see this white line here curling, and it's right here at the red line. When it crosses above this red line right here, that would be a bullish MACD crossover. And if you take a look, we also have this downtrend line here, a slight bearish divergence, you could even call it, on the RSI. And if we're able to break out of this and just retest this area and go sideways, or break out, retest, and go higher, that's going to be very bullish for the price action of Carvana. So I'm really paying attention to the weekly chart indicators, specifically the MACD for that bullish crossover and the RSI for that breakout of its recent downtrend. Now, when we zoom into the daily time frame, okay, we can see that trend line being respected, a couple times here, right? Rejected twice. And we've had a pretty nice move to the upside here. And now, there's a little bit of a gap down here, okay, basically right around $28. And then there's a very, very tiny gap right here, right around 36.23. And so what these support levels are these are your three most common and well-respected Fibonacci retracement levels. That's going to be the 38.2, 50%, and 61.8% levels. So, why am I giving this to you, right? Well, being that we've had a tremendous rally, and if you look at the daily RSI, it's well above 70. Okay, it's up here around 80 right now. So that means we're pretty overbought. So if this was to just chop sideways, that would be your most bullish scenario right here. Okay. Not most bullish, but most preferable for the bulls is to get some bull flag consolidation. We chop around through here and then ultimately break out. But if we were to pull back, okay, and just, come back under these overbought levels on the RSI, right? 48.60 is going to be your first support level. But if we were to pull back to 43.15, 39.69, and 36.23, all of these are healthy retracement levels to, continue the uptrend and ultimately put in a higher high, right? If we take a look at the trend, we have a low, higher low, higher low. And like I said, even if we were to pull back all the way around 36.23, that's still higher low territory to continue the uptrend. So, you don't have to rush into things. Okay. I know FOMO is something that a lot of people experience and a lot of people struggle with, but it's not something that you have to let control your life. Okay. And so, let's say maybe you do get in here and it starts to reverse. You want to ask yourself, what's the risk to reward ratio, on the play if I'm getting in right here, right? So let's say you get in here, right? And your upside target is either going to be the 60.93 level or the 74.20 level, right? And so you have some nice upside, and then your stop loss is going to be below 36.23. And you take a look and you can see here by these arrows, your downside risk is slightly smaller than your upside risk. So, you do want to have a good risk to reward ratio where the reward is going to be higher than the risk. All right. But if you were to enter in at some of these lower levels, right, around 48.60, then you can see here your risk to reward ratio is even greater, right? And let's say you get in at the Fibonacci, the 38.2 Fibonacci, then your risk to reward is even greater, and so on and so forth. So, you can be patient and look for trade setups. All right. Look for high quality setups. You can keep your trade short term, right? And if you're buying in some of these overbought conditions, maybe you're taking profits at a little bit earlier of a time than someone who's, buying in when things are much less overbought over here, right? In this area where it's much less overbought and consolidated sideways. As we mentioned, one of the most bullish scenarios that you could look for a setup at least would be some consolidation to really let the RSI breathe, come back down, and then look for the next breakout of a trend, and boom, and then you can catch that next move. Okay. So that's really what it comes to with Carvana. I mean, it looks amazing right now. We may not even see this thing pull back. Okay. It's very possible that this thing, with the inverse head and shoulders setup, with the cup and handle setup, this thing could really just start to explode very, very quickly, as it's already done, moving from, the $30 range up to 50, very, very quickly. And so we'll see if momentum can continue and we can get that weekly crossover on the MACD. and we can get that RSI breakout on the weekly chart. And then we'll also pay attention to our daily time frame, and just know that, hey, if this consolidates a little bit, that's really a good sign, and that will give it a little bit of breadth, a little bit of room to run on the RSI versus being so overbought. But at the moment, it's not showing any signs of weakness, right? We have a little bit of a doji here, which potentially could be a reversal candlestick. But look at some of the past dojis, right? They ended up leading into further bullishness. So if we were to see some type of a move here where we got a doji and then a couple red candles, and then we consolidated and then we really fired off, to me, that would be one of the most optimal setups. But I'll be paying attention closely to this one, because there's lots of potential. Again, when you zoom out and you take a look at the larger time frame, such as a weekly time frame, there's lots of potential here, and it's very close to getting a breakout. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit me up on my Ko-Fi page. All right. You can also sign up for that newsletter. Remember, free trade ideas, free valuable content sent directly to your inbox. You'll get about 1 to 2 free trade ideas a week. Okay. And you can also join the Investment Intelligence Discord. That's where you get access to all of my different trade ideas, all of my different analysis every single day. You get access to the custom scripts and indicators that I use to day trade the S&P 500, getting really nice returns on day trades, such as this one here, and many, many more things. Okay, there's lots of resources inside of the Discord, and I'll be really happy to see you inside of there. Okay, it's $10 bucks a month. That's less than a cup of coffee a week, and uh I'll see you in the next one.